There's many dividend calculators online and many dividend calculator apps, whether through the Google Store or Apple Store or if there's other that's out there. But those are the primary ones I know of. But there might be others in other countries. So I know Google, I know Apple for the U.S. or the USA. So today we're going to talk about Income Realty, the monthly dividend company. So basically, it's a REIT or REIT. I'm not sure how people pronounce it, or if there's a right way of pronouncing, but I normally say REITs or REITs, but it's actually probably pronounced REITs. But we could just spell it out. So the acronym is R for Romeo, E for Echo, I for India, T for Tango, and S for Sam or Sierra. So REITs. Okay, and so if we look at the dividend calculator, O right now is standing as of Friday close of the market at $71.77. And just to say, if you own 1,000 shares of that, you pretty much know you'll be starting off pretty good. So somewhere probably in the 70s or 80,000. So anyway, probably the 70,000s, and you'll be starting off with your portfolio. And say the dividend yield or the current dividend yield is 3.95. And in the future, we could talk about dividend yields or what yield is and how it's calculated. But for right now, we own 1,000 shares of O, the Income Realty Company, or monthly dividend company, at $71.77, and we just say, okay, we want to leave the rat race behind, and we want to, in 25 years, become millionaires. Okay, so let's start there. Okay, so we say the yield, which you can find this information on Yahoo Finance. There's a Yahoo Finance app or finance app on the Apple phones or iPhones. So not sure about the Google phones or the Google software phones or other phones, but I know that the iPhone has an app where you can review the stock market and add a portfolio of stocks and ETFs, index funds, etc. To your list, and you can monitor your list. Okay, so we got 3.95% yield. So this is an actual real life number. Okay, and just say like you're getting some extra income from somewhere, say an inheritance or rental property or whatever annually, and say you're getting about $2,000 or so a month, and so say you're gonna invest around like 24,000 or 24,300. Actually, I can make it like, say you get like $2,000 a month extra from somewhere. The income that's coming from multiple sources of income or streams of income. So $2,000 a month times 12 months be 24,000 is your annual contribution. Okay, you're not sweating it. You don't really need the money. for another 25 years. You're thinking long term. Okay, so. And then we know that O, or the Income Realty Company, they pay out their dividends on a monthly basis. REITs, if you don't know anything about REITs, the one thing you do need to know is that by law, or by federal law, they have to give out at least around, I believe, 90% of their income or revenues. So whatever rents or they get from their leases or their activities, they have to pay it back out at least 90% to their shareholders in order to remain in a tax-free status by the U.S. government or U.S. federal government. So basically, it's a pretty good deal for them. But at the same time, it's an awesome deal for shareholders. Not every REIT pays out. There's all different types of REITs. Some invest in hotels, some invest in mortgages. So you'll see different types of yields. Some invest in, commercial buildings and hotels and restaurants and nursing homes, storage units like the PSA stock. I'm not sure if it's a REIT, but I know that the PSA, they invest in storage units. You have Cube, CUBE, or Charlie Uniform Bravo Echo, so Cube, and so you have these companies that invest in storage units, which is very profitable. And PSA, the stock is, it's really a high price to get into, but once you have that stock, it's awesome. They pay pretty high dividends. So so pretty much I'm getting these numbers from Yahoo Finance or the finance app that I see on my on my iPhone or on my on my iMac. So and I go to that app and I can see that they may increase, or I can go to the O's website. They have a really awesome website that puts on the front page what their annual share price increase normally is, or how it's grown, their annual dividend increases and stuff like that. So the numbers I have here may not be accurate, but you can definitely, definitely in the video, I'll leave a link below to or the monthly Dividend company. I will leave a link to their website, direct website, so that way you could see for yourself what the increases in the dividend and share price, and also on the finance app or website, you can also see for yourself. You can also see for yourself the annual share price increases through charts and other information that's provided by analysts, etc. Okay, so we know. So, like, there's companies, like Disney and and other companies that do that, where you don't have to buy your stock with them through a brokerage, but you can buy them through a third-party provider, such as that provides dividend reinvestment plans for companies like Disney, and they manage it and set it up for these companies like Coca-Cola. So instead of investing directly with the brokerages, you can invest directly in the company, directly to the company through these third-party service providers. They're kind of like servicers, like you have for like mortgages. They're not the actual lender, but they service for the loan for the lender, so the lender can be freed up to do other things. Or like landlords that own real estate, they can go in and hire a property manager, whether they know how to manage the real estate asset as a rental property or not. It frees up their time, so they can just focus on what they do best, is earning a profit for their shareholders, and taking care of their employees and their customers, making them happy, so that way everyone wins. It's a win-win. Okay, and so they can keep increasing these dividends year after year. So even during the pandemic, you will see companies like the REITs they're still making a profit. They're still doing well, and they're still increasing their dividends. Whereas companies like Disney that got hit really hard with the pandemic, they completely stopped their dividend, and it's a shame because they had a semi-annual dividend, and the yield wasn't very high. It was like in the 1% or under 2% yield, and when the pandemic happened in the 2020s or 2020s, they just completely erased their dividend. So it's a shame, but at the same time, we understand that they had to protect their business and their company, and make sure that it survived the pandemic. So we get it, But anyway, there's a lot of companies that hire these other companies to run dividend reinvestment plans, like ComputerShare. ComputerShare is an awesome company that that manages like companies like Disney. Disney used to be under Broadridge, and then I guess they decided that ComputerShare would be a better fit in managing their grip. And now, just like Mattel, it's not really any reason to really have a dividend reinvestment plan, or we don't know if it's temporary dividend hold or suspension, or they're going to have it again one day in the future. But at the moment, we know that companies like Mattel and Disney, they got hit hard. And Mattel, for instance, got hit hard by the Toys R Us franchise or company, business, which is under a holding company, because they actually still have Toys R Us in Japan, for example, that bought them out and everything, and closed them down in the U.S., but they didn't close them down in other countries or other places like Japan. But long story short, dividend reinvestment plans. So you have GRIPs and you have DSPP, dividend stock purchase plans. So most companies, especially like utilities, will come under one or the other, DSPP or DRIP. They pretty much do the same thing. You purchase shares in the company through the company, through a third-party company or middleman like ComputerShare, and basically what happens is that they will manage, whether you get the one good deal is where you get when you use these DRIPs or DSPPs, you can get partial or fractions of shares. So it's a good deal, but at the same time, now that the brokerages are now or at least all the major discount brokerages are allowing customers, and all these fintech companies like Webull and Robinhood are allowing customers to trade for free, which is awesome, and a major game changer, because the cost of entry for a lot of people has definitely gotten extremely low, just like the low interest mortgages for those who have good credit and good credit report, credit history, and good income and employment, etc. You could pay back the mortgage on a monthly basis. So yeah, you can get access to low interest rate loans, which are awesome, and pretty much leverage large amounts of real estate for very little money. And if you're a veteran, pretty much 0%. You can leverage up infinity, because you're not returns on your investment or cash on cash, because you put very, very little in, so you might put in something for the appraisal, a little bit in the closing cost, but that's about it. And you could take that and pretty much look at your return on your investment or your primary residence, and because you pretty much got a low cost loan that's even lower than the interest rate that's being given to conventional, which is already very low. And then on top of that, you don't have to pay any down payment. So there's a lot of great programs out there, but yeah, so it's amazing that the brokerage companies, discount brokerages, they're already pretty discounted from what they were in the 90s, where they were charging people like about $30 or so, or $29.95, or and then it went down a little bit lower, and then it got to the point where they were like $4.95, and then eventually got to the point where they just became free, to buy and sell. So it's a really amazing change in the world, because they, just like the banks, the brokerage companies and the Wall Street wants your money, and they want you to keep pumping money into the system. So whether you spend it, whether you invest it, whatever you do with it, they want a piece of it. Even if they gotta lure you in with free, because they know it's gonna be just like a casino where the house always wins. They know once they get your money and they get you involved in playing and speculating, they know, just like in lottery tickets, they know that there's going to be a lot of more losers than there are going to be winners, and pretty much Wall Street and all the other hedge funds and everyone else, they're going to want up more the winners, because especially if you're not doing long-term investments and doing short-term trading, because they have all the sophisticated computers and algorithms and very intelligent people who's gone to school, paid for Harvard, etc., know all about the economics and the economy and finance, etc., 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 and they help run these companies and keep these companies afloat, and program these computers. So it's like going to the casino and going up to the casino and thinking you can beat the casino. It may be possible, but very, very difficult, very, very hard to do. So in the long term, of course, even if you win in the short term, the house is always going to win in the long term. It's just basic math. Okay, and also they have other things on their side as well, to make sure that they win. Okay, so anyway, so we talked about DRIPs and DSPPs, third-party companies that are like the administrators or middle management, middlemen's between companies and between companies and Wall Street, and they could make sure that. And then nowadays they have companies, fintechs, and the discount brokerages are pretty much doing now what those companies are doing, where they allow you to get like fractional shares, and when you buy shares, they allow you to reinvest the dividends and so many other things that they didn't do before, maybe a decade ago or so, that they now do. So it's just like with Bitcoin, all these companies, brokerages and mainstream banks and everyone is hedge funds. Everyone is now, jumping on the bandwagon, just like they did with the tech stocks and tech back in the 90s and the early 2000s, and then hoping to see, trying to see who's going to be the winners and who's going to be the losers, or picking the winners and losers, etc. And out of the bunch, to see who's going to last the long term for the future. And so that's pretty much what helps and drives the American economy and keeps the capitalism going. It's a great country, and has its flaws and it has its weaknesses, but pretty much it's a great country, where at least everyone has the freedom, if they take it, to be able to participate in the stock market. It may not be always as transparent or as simple or easy, but you can definitely educate yourself, learn, get mentors, take courses, read books, audio books as well, and you can eventually try to educate and improve and better yourself to the point where invest in yourself, where you are pretty much know more about the stock market and Wall Street than the people that actually work there. So it's up to you. Okay, but anyway, off of that rant, we're gonna go to where it has the annual dividend increase. You can put in the percentage there. You can play around with the number, or you can just get the numbers off of the company's website. Annual share price increase, the same thing. Okay, and this is something that's really easy. You can pretty much play around with the tax rate. You can say like, hey, you're going to be in a lower tax rate in 25 years because you're not going to have any businesses or anything in your name, or major income coming in from any major income source that is going to be in your name. So you get what I'm saying. You don't think you're going to be someone that's going to be bringing in a lot of income, so and your tax rate will be 15% or less. No one has a crystal ball, but what's going to happen in the next 25 years. But you can get kind of like an inkling, and you can play around with it, like what if. So if you say you're going to be in a lower tax rate at 25%, then but at the same time, in Roths or IRAs, especially if you can put the higher amounts, like the $24,000 a year, into it, like if you have like a self-employment IRA or something like that, a SEP or a Simple, or all those other products, or self-directed IRA, you're pretty much good to go, because it's I don't have a crystal ball, but for right now, Whatever you invest in a self-directed IRA, that stays tax-free. It's another one of those havens that they don't talk about for the wealthy. Self-directed IRAs, you can look it up. There's many companies that offer this service, and they charge pretty much low fees. So just check it out. It'll help you save on taxes if you don't want to have to do the 15% thing. But anyway, just put that in there for the and then you can also do worst case scenarios. Like if you're say you're going to be in 25% or more, or at least 25%, in your taxes. So 25 and send it in 25 years invested. But anyway, if you look at it this way, even with the tax, your tax rate at 15%, like if you didn't put your money into a tax haven like a self-directed IRA, basically, or IRAs, basically, with the 15% tax every year on your money, on your profits, you will end up in 25 years with about 1.9 million, about almost 9,500 shares, almost 10,000 shares, and then some received in dividends, and you will receive over $438,000 in dividends, almost $500,000 in dividends by just investing $24,000 a year or $2,000 a month. It's amazing. It's amazing. This is stuff they don't teach you in school. They teach you the math, so you can see there's math involved here, and math doesn't tell you any lies. And then you can see right here, the first year you end up with 103,000 from your 70-something thousand invested with 1,000 shares. Year 2 goes up, keeps going up, keeps going up, keeps going up. Ultimately, so you reach the million mark on year 18, and then after that, the compound interest and everything, as you can see, it just gets crazy. The numbers just keep growing exponentially. To year 25, you wind up with 1.8 million. It's amazing. And then if this was in a tax-free account, just imagine, all the money that, the amazing amount of money that you would have accumulated and earned. So, anyway, this is the review of the dividend calculator.